were just so many things. I was like, it's just stupid.
A lot of people do stupid things, I guess.
Like tombstoning.
Right. Anyway, welcome. This is the 10th episode of the Twin Talks sort of series podcast thing. And you basically, I don't know when we started this. I don't know how much of that spiel got in. Tom was just airing his frustrations with
Everything.
everything. Maybe we won't. I don't know. It was you were just talking about your colleagues at work and the dumb things they were doing, and obviously it's going to be there's a lot going on in the world right now, and it's very tragic, everything that's happening and everything that's going on, and obviously there's two sides to every argument. There's people that are frustrated, there's people that are upset, people that don't know what's going on, and I think it is important to raise awareness of these issues, everything that's happened. I suppose you could call it the George Floyd movement, because he's like the figurehead. That's not to say that any of the other lives that were lost and perhaps not reported till this point are worth any less, but he is sort of has become, is the martyr the correct term?
Martyr, yeah.
Yeah, of
figurehead.
Yeah, of the movement, and obviously it's very tragic. You guys have undoubtedly seen tons of media coverage, news. You've probably seen so much about this for the next few days, or from the last few days. So quickly touch on it here, but that's not what this podcast is about.
You could say the fact that we know about it on the other side of the planet. This random. There are so many police killings all the time.
Yeah.
The fact that we know about this one random, wrong but random act is actually quite an impressive. It's a real statement to the power of the internet.
The power of the internet, for sure, and I think the internet is the way that we will spread the word.
I think e-protests are kind of almost going to be the new thing, where it's like boycotting certain places, and everyone, like when everyone filled their profiles yesterday with black. Like I went on Instagram and I was like, I didn't realize that everyone's profile picture is black now.
Yeah,
so
and especially I will say, especially during this pandemic, I think there are more responsible ways to protest than organising a mass gathering. I think you have a right to protest. I think you should protest, but if a protest causes even one extra person to die through spreading the virus, I think that's going to ruin the lives of quite a few people in their family. So, that's that. That's whether it's protesting, whether it's going to a crowded beach, whatever it is. I'm not going to discriminate against your motives. I think you should protest. I think you should, but I also think you should just be careful and be responsible. So that's my speech. But this is the 10th episode.
It is,
as we said, and you planned out some things
vaguely.
That supposedly you said take.
So it's been
10 weeks.
10 weeks. So I thought we'd look at, since the podcast began, what kind of things go on. Now, this was difficult because if you Google anything to do with 10 weeks, all you get is a load of pregnancy tips.
Right.
It took a long time to filter out the pregnancy.
For sure.
In the end, I just did the -pregnant, and then nothing came up. So it took a while just to find this. So first of all, Columbus. It took Christopher Columbus to discover America, when actually he crash landed in the Bahamas. But it took him 10 weeks from when he started to get to the Bahamas.
Wow. Okay.
He was aiming for.
And also,
India,
like you said,
the Bahamas.
The 10 weeks. This is, as well as the amount of podcasts we've done, it does coincide with how long we in the UK have been in lockdown.
Yes, that's so since UK lockdown began. By the
this is what you could have accomplished in lockdown.
So you could have accomplished in lockdown. You could have
sailed
in the 1400s.
Was it from Spain?
I believe it's from Spain to the Bahamas. It took 10 weeks. Isn't that crazy when you think now on an airplane it can take less than
10 hours? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Mad.
There was ex-Liverpool footballer Dean Saunders was in prison for 10 weeks because he refused a breathalyzer test when he was drink driving. But we don't have proof that he was drink driving because he didn't take the breathalyzer. So they arrested. So he was in prison for 10 weeks, which I think is actually longer than a drink driving charge because you just get fined for your first one.
A DUI, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so.
Driving under the influence or something. Yeah. That's a very American sounding term just because I've seen it in movies.
So,
I got a DUI.
Speaking of driving, the other one actually is, statistically, it takes 10 weeks from when you pass your driving test
to crash,
to become a bad driver. No, statistically, it takes 10 weeks for you to develop the bad habits and stop doing what you're doing. So you're actually, when you pass your test...
to be like a casual driver.
So when you pass your test, you're actually, technically speaking, only roadworthy for the first 10 weeks, at which point you should really take
you get
your test
bad
again.
habits.
Yeah.
And
so it takes 10 weeks to develop bad driving habits.
The thing is
Doesn't
with
shock
driving,
me.
it just does take two to tango for the most part. Like, you can be a terrible driver, but if everyone else is the best driver in the world, you won't crash.
But yeah, see, this thing, you could be one of the things that worries me about driving, one of the reasons I haven't learned to drive besides being poor, is that I could be the best driver in the world, and that does not stop the fact that some lunatic could literally just ram into me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I work a lot of my time in a car park, and it's very open, and I was like, I get paid a lot of money considering what I actually do is pretty much nothing. And then I was like, well, the reason for that is because I can die in at least 3 different ways on site. And one of them is just that a car could just run me over. I have zero protection. If a car just went straight at me, I'd be dead.
That's the thing. There's so much space, and you're like, you've just driven into a cone. There's a lot
Honestly,
of space.
They take out so many cones. It's really funny. The worst one is that because it gets really hot, we put water bottles like under the cone to keep them cool.
Okay.
And then you forget where you've put them, and it's like squirrels burying their nuts. So it's honestly like bingo. When you lift up the cone, you wonder if there's going to be a bottle there. But then you get like a car about to crash, so you move the cone, and there's a bottle there, and then they just run over the bottle.
Yeah. Today is, fortunately, especially because it's podcast day, we're actually recording this on the day of upload of the podcast, which means render hours for me, yippee. But it's the first day in probably 10 weeks, if we're sticking with the theme, where it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's
and classically,
not.
it's my day off.
It's not boiling.
Do you know, the last day that
Yes.
was even slightly cool was my last day off, where it was overcast and windy. It literally is coinciding with my days off.
I don't remember it being overcast in the last month.
I do, because I was outside all day.
I remember I went.
It was windy.
There was one day in lockdown I went for a run, and it was quite early in the morning. It was you remember that day? It was about 7:45 in the end. I left, and it was raining. So about 8:30 in the morning, I just got dumped on by hail and rain, and that then passed, and it was a normal day. But other than that, the weather has been impeccable in terms of
it's
like.
actually statistically been the best April on UK record.
And May probably wasn't far behind, because now we're in June and it's starting to get sort of a bit more tame, which is kind of weird. Just as things start lifting, our quarantine has been the hottest time, and we're in the UK. We don't have
We don't do heat.
Americans. They have aircon.
We don't have aircon.
It's like standard for them to have aircon. We do not.
We have this debate whenever the language students come over. They get to school and they're like, "It's so hot, burn on the aircon." We're like, "We don't have aircon." They're like, "Why don't you have aircon?" And we're like, "Because it's never this hot."
That's the thing. Yeah, like
But
it's
now
almost
it
like
is.
if you
But
live
it's
in
only for,
like
3 months.
if you live in like Dubai, they have to
like
have
Saudi,
aircon.
yeah, Saudi Arabia,
Otherwise
they have
it's
aircon everywhere, and even and if your car's aircon is broken, they write it off. They literally write the car off, even if it's totally fine. There's no aircon, they just write it off.
Is there something that this sort of quarantine has sort of made you think twice about that maybe you didn't think of before, in terms of like, do you now feel like you didn't take advantage of your freedom? Do you want to travel more, or are you going to travel less? What are you going to do?
Do you know, I've actually gotten into some good habits. Actually, I get up pretty much the same time every day.
It's good.
I've
Are you
got a
sleeping a
solid
little
routine.
better?
No, not
No,
really. But
no.
we've got I don't know if you know this now, but I've got new curtains, which I'm going to put up.
Oh right, new curtains. Wow, these curtains are a staple of my YouTube career.
These curtains have been here probably as long as we've lived here. No,
Probably,
I don't know.
possibly.
There were blinds in here when we first lived here, I
I
think.
don't remember that.
But no, they were
At
these
least
dark
10
blue
years.
curtains.
At least 10
anyway,
years.
Yeah, we've had these curtains a while, and so I've got these new ones, and because I've actually got 2 sets, if I want to make it really dark, I can put both sets up.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to do that, but you may at some point find these curtains turn red, because they are red curtains. Because I like theatre and the stage. Red's my favorite colour, so we have like red curtains.
The depression is going to be so
Excited.
dark
Quite
and
excited
gloomy.
to be able to actually not wake up at 4 a.m. thinking it's 10 o'clock because it's so bright outside.
Yeah, well, I woke up, it was about 5:30 and it was light outside, but the reason I woke up is because it started chucking it down with rain, and it was kind of nice, but yeah, I don't know.
Notice when I play rain sounds when I sleep, so I don't notice because it's raining all the time for me.
Yeah, see, I could do that. There's a 10-hour rain sound I listen to. I put it to like 7 hours in.
I've been listening to the 2-hour one.
Right.
That's got the Indian flutes as well.
Is that the one I sent you?
Yeah.
That was the first one I think I used to listen to. I used to listen to that every
using
night.
That at the moment. I alternate between about 3 different ones, and that's the one I'm using at the moment.
Right. See, obviously, as well, like sounds and everything, it's very easy to associate sound with a certain time. And obviously, that was the sound I listened to when I was in my old apartment. And then when I went through everything I went through and I was sort of sleeping by myself, that was the sound I listened to. So now when I listen to it, it's slightly like...
Sad.
Eek. It just you know what I mean? It's like PTSD sort of feeling. So I've tried to like mix that up. And also, I've been thinking about potentially changing again, because with this heat... normally I sleep like a log. The last couple of days I have slept straight through, but there are a few days where I kept waking up and I struggled to sleep. And with that sound on in the background, you then associate that sound with not being able to sleep.
Yeah.
So I've had to think about changing it because I don't want my body to think, all right, I'm hearing that sound, let's just not sleep. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can get sleep all sorted out, and hoping to move house properly very soon. So I've had the keys to my house for nearly.
I reckon we get to week 12.
Nearly 3 months. Well, here's the thing. So at the time of recording, the next couple of days, step one sort of getting internet installed at the house is happening, and then once the terrible connection has been installed, because BT need to install a standard line because there's nothing at the house at the moment, and then within 2 weeks they'll upgrade it to a fiber connection, which is what I need. So when the standard line, once that gets installed, no problem, then in between that and fiber I move my bed and everything, and then once fiber's installed I move all this, and I'm actually, it's weird.
Get my room back. You're gonna get a different background.
It's strange because I didn't expect to be here this long, and had coronavirus not happened, I wouldn't have been here this long.
Correct.
So it's actually been quite a long time I've been here now, like way longer than sort of I wanted. So I've not forgotten what it's like to live alone and all that, but it's been long enough for me to now be really excited about doing it again. And being,
I'm still gonna visit,
responsible. Oh yeah, by all means. And that's the thing as well, because I'm moving to an empty house, I can still come here. We're still technically the same household, so that's nice. But I just have my own space. When the bed gets set up, that's gonna be nice because it is a really nice bed, and hopefully I can get the TV set up. Yeah. So that's June. It's positive. It is, the outlook is positive. It's very surreal. Everything that's going on is so surreal, and I think it's also having to take in everything that's happening in the world within the same four walls. Like everything that happens, you're just inside all the time, and it is quite mentally tough to. And I know it
makes you appreciate prison a bit more.
It's kind of like I suppose a first world problem to be bored or to struggle to cope with things in lockdown, when essentially at the moment we're safe, we have a roof, we're both employed. I get it, but I one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand or just perhaps choose to ignore is that being privileged doesn't make your problems that doesn't invalidate your problems.
Yeah.
It's still hard to deal with, maybe not as hard as other people, but you can't compare because someone's always got it worse and someone's always got it better. If you're alive, someone's got it worse, and and
they're probably dead.
and the thing, you could argue that someone's always got it better, because someone might say, oh, the person who's got it best, let's say Jeff Bezos, the richest person in the world, he probably hasn't got it best.
No.
He's probably the person who's got it best is probably the person who,
it's probably some Eskimo.
Yeah, probably some retired guy in a hut on a beach somewhere that has no worries and is just genuinely happy and grateful for everything. That's probably someone who feels enlightened.
Honestly, I think grandma, she loves her family, she's content, she lives day by day. I think
exactly. I think
grandma's got it made.
I think as you go through life, you get to the stage where it does become less about the pursuit of success, and it's more just about, and hopefully it is for a lot of people.
Success is a journey, not a destination.
Happiness, you know what I mean? It's just genuine happiness, and that has to be the goal. And you can be happy with £1,000, £1 million, £1 billion. You can be happy with, 10. Yeah,
I'm happy with £10 and a pizza and a brownie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you had £10 to live on, then you'd be in a little bit more difficulty. There is a point you ideally should get to, just because of the society we live in. But yeah, I really want everyone to be happy, and it's so sad because this
sad.
year,
you're never gonna get that.
I know, but this year has been so tough for so many people, and I just it's all a bit much, isn't it?
A bit much, yeah. We're not even halfway through the year.
Yeah,
it feels like we've done a year already.
Oh my! Particularly, I don't know what it was about yesterday. It felt, some days just feel a bit long. Yesterday literally felt like 2 different days in one day. It was the longest day.
Do you know what? Actually, I can attest to that, because yesterday I started and finished a book.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's about 350 pages.
Yeah.
I started and finished a book.
How?
Well, okay, no, so I started it, what day is it today? Wednesday. So Monday night, I started it.
And you finished it before the next day at the same time?
And then I finished it, within 24 hours of starting it.
Got it, right. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
It's a good book. So I did, read it quite fast, but...
Yeah, I think it's... I think you watching this kind of understand my difficulty with sort of articulating it. I almost don't know what to say. It's like there's bad times, and then there's just everyone has said the word unprecedented in the last few months.
I'm missing the precedented times.
Yeah, everything is so wildly different.
I miss knowing anything.
I know it's the uncertainty is crazy, and
I've been working a month tomorrow, and I still haven't been paid. I don't even know.
The mental aspect, everything is almost balanced on a knife edge, and I'm ready to blow up, and I'm ready to get angry in a second. I'm ready to cry in a second.
Yeah.
If I stared at this camera for 20 seconds and thought about things, I could cry. I'm not going to, but
I could. Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you just look at that, this is you lot. You watch this, 100%. I could just break down, and it just.
How am I doing?
You get, there it is. There it is. Got him. Woo! The tears are there, and you know what I mean. It's just
stress. The stress is right there.
Everything is right at the top. You know when someone
right
pours
there.
you a drink and then they go whick and chop the top off. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And something could happen, something completely minuscule, like for instance downstairs in the bathroom. I don't know why they've engineered the toothbrushes to be the narrowest at the bottom in order to stand up, because it means they fall at the slightest hit. If I knock a toothbrush over, I'm balling out. Just saying.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually nearly confession yesterday. One of the goes that you were doing cards, you took so long. I nearly actually left. I nearly actually just went, "What's the point?" I just walked out. I actually was getting that close. I nearly said some very choice language as well, because I work with a lot of people that swear a lot. In my head I was like,
yeah.
I actually did. At one point I always was like, I'm gonna flip a table.
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay, when we play cards, my go average length is longer than everyone's.
By quite a margin.
But that's because
I actually think what you're doing.
I do more in my go. So maybe the amount of progress per time is similar, but I just think further ahead into the game, and that's why I'm winning.
No, but not by a lot.
I've won 14. Mum's
9.
won 11. You've won 9, and Dad's won 8 or something like that. I'm way in front.
No, but I.
Because I think about what I'm doing.
No, because while it's going round, I've pretty much already decided which card I'm getting rid of.
Yeah, but each go that someone takes, something new could happen.
Yeah, I know, but but I adjust that as I go. So I pretty much already know half of my go before I even pick up my card, and it's very rare that card I pick up actually changes my mind very much.
Well, maybe I'm just lucky
then.
then.
I'm quite quick.
Because because there's
Maybe
also
I just think quicker.
I think you pick a thing to do and go with it. I think of multiple different ways I could take my go.
Multiple different things.
Well, then you just need to take your time. Think about it a little more.
Nah.
No,
I've still won quite a few games.
You won a few. I mean, I guess.
Oh,
what's going on here? See, why does my computer do this? It's gone to standby. Hopefully we're still recording here. Let me just check this. I think we're all good. I don't know what's changed, but yeah, after about 20 minutes, my computer's like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep now. It's never done that before.
My phone had an update, and now every time I open Snapchat, if my phone is off, and I unlock the screen, open Snapchat, unlock it, it opens Snapchat and then locks itself, and I have to open it again.
So weird. Do you ever get it where you open, say, your camera or Snapchat or something, and then your phone in opening it has struggled a little bit in terms of like computer processing power to do it, so it freezes and you just see your screenshot of you looking at the phone, and it's like, go away.
Yeah.
You want
to see something terrible? Do you want to see something terrible?
Let's go for it. Let's see something terrible. Wow. Go on. You look like a proper builder.
That's the start of my degree to the end of my degree.
That was the start of your degree?
So that's when I started, and that's when I finished. Haven't I aged?
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Thomas has shown 2 pictures of himself. So you with a fluorescent jacket and just that look on your face.
That's just unimpressed. What is
you look like a man, like an actual man.
A man.
No, but you know what I mean.
Wait. If I cover the sensitive information,
I'll put this here so you can see what you're showing.
Yeah, look at that.
You look like a builder.
Well,
like
yeah,
that's the
I'm on a site.
which is just it's wild because I know you are a man, but it's a bit awkward, because when you're 18, in the UK particularly, 18 is the big age, much less so 21 like in America because of drinking and all that. You're essentially like, okay, you're gonna minimize the face cam there. There you go. You are told, oh, you're an adult, when in actual fact you're no different and you're not an adult.
You're still going to school at 18.
And then it's weird because you're a man.
I'm 22. I'm very much a man.
I know, but at the same time, some 22-year-olds just aren't.
Like, I literally walk around the site like, yo, Jerry, how you doing?
Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Hey.
The thing is, everyone's got like nicknames.
How's your mother?
So everyone's got nicknames. So like, you walk around and you think it's all your problem. But no, it's more like, oi, Badger, what you doing? He's got Badger because he's got like black hair, but he's mostly grey. Or you've got like, and one guy just called him Fetus because I actually thought he was 15.
Yeah, you're going for a bit of salt and pepper these days, aren't you?
More salt than pepper these days. But,
more salt and pepper.
I'd
love to.
It's like someone said to one of the people in the car, they said, oh yeah, my mate works here. It's called Dan. I was like, oh, Brizzle. And they were like, what? And I was like, because he's from Bristol.
Oh, okay.
And it's like that kind of. And then she was like, no, he's not from Bristol. I was like, oh, there's more than one Dan on the site. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
But then because people have nicknames, like there was one person who got assigned to me, and so I kept went, and they said,
so what's your nickname?
Well, mine changes a lot, so I don't actually know anymore.
Throw some at me. What do you get called? What have you been called?
A fair few things.
Go on then.
No, I'm not going to reveal
the
secrets.
One name for the 10th episode. Come on.
I mean, at one point they called me Two Lunch Tom because
Tom. Yeah.
One of the people who was there, because we get given free lunch, and it's great. One person there just brings their own lunch, but I was like, don't be a snake. So she gets her lunch and gives it to me. So I just have like 2 lunches every day.
Right.
But they really struggled to have a name, to give me a name, because they didn't want to offend me. Yeah. Or like I think at one point I was gay incorporated. But then there was this kind of but then he goes, oh yeah, someone says, oh, I've been assigned to someone called Tom for the day, like to be trained, and the person I was stood with, like, they said this to me and went, oh, I don't know how many Toms on the site. And I was like, Tim, I've been working with you for
Tim.
I was like, Tim, like I've been working with you for a month, and he was like, oh yeah,
oh yeah,
and some people keep calling me Josh.
Josh, yeah. I mean, well, there's some people in secondary school that didn't know my name because I was called Gibby so widely across the year.
There were some people didn't know we were twins.
Yeah, there were people that when I sort of, let's say I got into a new class with them and I sat with them and they said, oh, you're Gibby, that's you, because they didn't know, because obviously in a classroom I'm Matt or whatever. And yeah, so that saying the word Gibby just sounds so weird now, and it's so strange because people, it's just weird. Like, people see you arrive at the course, they'd be like, Gibby, and it's like, that's just me. Yeah, some of the teachers called me that as well. My form teacher and my PE teacher, so that's probably the 2 most informal teacher to student connection you can have, your form tutor and PE,
and possibly drama teacher.
Yeah.
PE students have a weird relationship with their teachers.
Yeah.
Speaking of, okay, so we're going to move on from that.
Okay.
So 10 weeks.
Do you have it? Yeah, you have got any more?
Yeah, I have. So it's 10-week teaching term for uni. So we've actually been in lockdown as long as an entire term.
Semester.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's 10-week teaching. The actual term is longer. But you have like, some people have like a reading week in the middle, or like your freshers week at the beginning. So like first term is 12 weeks, but 2 weeks of that you don't have any lectures.
It's party.
Yeah, pretty much. For the first week anyway. Then also there was some professor dude that predicted right at the beginning of April that the UK coronavirus outbreak would take 70 days.
To do what?
To clear over.
So he's wrong.
Well, his argument was that he will be proven right, and if he's proven wrong, it's because people weren't obeying lockdown. Which they weren't, so he's kind of right, isn't he?
Well,
we have no way of proving it.
Exactly,
really
that's the thing. He could just say, I would have been right if
people actually did. Yeah, because his predictions were based on everyone following the rules.
Yeah,
which was obviously stupid. He should have.
I do wonder. Imagine what would have happened if let's say, because this is unrealistic, but let's say food wasn't an issue and everyone just had food. Wonder what would have happened. Obviously, disregarding mental health, and that's the whole reason why certain things were allowed for mental health, because it's been a very difficult time mentally. I wonder how quick it would have disappeared if we were all literally without a choice confined to our buildings.
Well, like in Wuhan, where they literally welded people into their buildings.
Yeah, say you actually couldn't leave the house, like you couldn't go out to work. Let's just say all that was taken care of and we were all in our houses. Theoretically, it would have been gone in a month, wouldn't it?
Probably
if absolutely no one, I was just rounding up to any little stragglers or whatever. if
That would also
if we
assume
were
that no one
all
came into the UK.
yeah, that's
You
what I
have to,
mean.
like,
If
travel.
everything was fully locked down and you couldn't leave for a month, it actually would be gone.
Yeah.
It would be dead. It wouldn't be on surfaces anymore. It wouldn't have got there in the first place. Everyone that either sadly people would die. So this is all assuming things like this is unrealistic, like hospitals. Everything's sort of working, but at the same time everyone's staying home. It's a hypothetical. It would be gone.
Yes.
So the extent to which we are forced to stay in some kind of lockdown beyond that month or beyond certainly these last 2 months now is based on how well we've been able to distance ourselves and follow the rules as much as possible whilst living a somewhat normal life.
Did you see that there was a restaurant that opened? I think it was in the US. I'm not sure. It might not have been. But
Okay.
think about it. Probably wasn't the US. It just struck me as US because they were drinking beer. And they.
Is that particularly American thing? Beer? Oh yeah, I suppose beer.
Billy
Yeah.
Bob Roscoe.
Beer.
I was just thinking the US drinking champs would like drink beer, but get a cold one
Marianne!
with the boys. And they all were given. They were given a table that was a meter radius, so 2 meter diameter table that was a circle.
2 meter diameter.
2 meter diameter. Yeah. So 1 meter radius.
Yeah.
2 meter diameter.
Yeah.
And there you're stood in the middle, and they have little like those pool floaty squishy things around the outside.
The noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could drink your beer and eat your food on that. And then you could just walk around the restaurant because you would never be within 2 meters of someone because you just bounce off them. And so people were there just mingling and chatting, but always but you could guarantee social distance because they were literally in these like hoops.
Problem is though, if they sneeze, then it's over.
Yeah, I know. But I very much enjoyed watching people go around like, "Hey, how you doing?" Boop, and then like going around and just bouncing off each other and basically playing bumper carts, but with their bellies, but not.
Yeah.
Very entertaining to watch.
It's I don't know. It's all a bit wild, but. I think this has turned out quite well. Any other 10-week scenarios?
Well, there were only 5 because it's actually really hard to find them.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you made it run.
I thought it would be a good kind of just it's been 10 weeks.
I just like that I'm at a regular temperature at the moment. I'm cool, which is very nice. But yeah, it's very difficult because you want to remain positive, positivity and. Ding ding. But at the same time, it's so tough, isn't it? And I
think it's important though. I think people put such an emphasis on positivity and happiness. Feeling sad is important.
Oh, you can positively feel sad.
It's okay. Not just it's okay. It's important because when you feel sad, that's your body telling you something's wrong.
I think it's necessary. Yeah.
I think it's so important. It's like some people are like, oh, wouldn't it be great if you couldn't feel pain? No.
No.
The people that can't feel pain. Like, so example,
they would die.
People, right? No. So I was talking to someone who was a nurse for Alzheimer's and dementia, and she said they don't feel pain at all.
Yeah.
Like they actually don't feel pain.
Make her job very difficult.
So they said this thing like a woman will fall over and break their hip, and they're too embarrassed to tell you that they've fallen over.
Yeah.
So it'll take about 4 days. We go, she's walking with a limp.
Yeah.
And they can be doing this. And
exactly.
like the worst one is and this is I hope this makes you cringe because it's horrible. She said that the worst one is men.
Oh no.
With dementia, because men with dementia have catheters, right?
Okay.
And she said the amount of them, they'll just pull them out now, and there'll be blood everywhere on the ceiling everywhere. Because the thing is, a catheter. Yeah, they put like a balloon inside you. To take a catheter out of a man, you have to deflate the balloon first, because otherwise it won't come out. These men just rip them out.
Oh.
And yeah, she said that she's literally been covered with blood
from
where men just rip them out, and they don't feel it at all. They just sit there like, they just go, "This is in the way," and just rip it out.
Like obviously, yeah, okay, yeah.
That
would have like benefits. Like for instance, like
damage.
you and me not experiencing pain for the most part would probably be all right. But then again, if we have a heart attack, we don't know. So
well, that's the thing.
Pain is like you said, it's your body's way of saying.
I wouldn't know. For example, it would be the example like I forget to put on the oven gloves, just take something out the tray. I won't know until my hand falls off.
See, that's the thing. Like, there's times where it would be ideal. Like if you could do a checklist, like I don't want to feel pain when I get, like for me, for instance, when I get hit by a cricket ball, that'd be great because chances are I'm not going to get hit in the head and die. It would only be me getting hit in the body or hit in the nuts, and that would hurt. But you kind of need pain to be like, hang on, something's wrong.
Maybe shouldn't do that. Well, this is the thing. It's like, even if people are like, oh, I don't want to have pain when I'm running or exercise. No, that's your body telling you to stretch or slow down or like.
Yeah.
You're actually. Pain is important.
When you think about not having pain, you think of being able to do stuff.
Like
you think of being able to fall over.
I'd love my body not to ache.
Yeah, but the actual,
like my knees hurt
pain
most of the time.
Pain is useful.
Because I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
I see
knees,
loads
children.
of posts about
Appreciate
saying
your
how like
knees.
I miss childhood when my back didn't hurt, and it really is. Your back never hurts as a kid.
Well,
You do
beg to
all
differ.
sorts of
Absolutely
twisting.
beg to differ.
Okay, you have growing pains, yada yada. You know what I mean.
I had back pains from when.
Generally
my whole life.
speaking, you're not beaten up as a kid. You can contort yourself in all sorts of different
Oh,
ways,
yeah. That's one of the reasons I had problems.
and you're sort of okay.
And the amount of kids that can do the split, so then they get to like 11 and suddenly they can't. And
Yeah.
that's because your body just decided, actually, no, I can now feel pain.
It's
And this whole time, that
and
has
also
been gone.
as a kid, I can imagine kids during this time probably having a decent time because they're better at entertaining themselves. There's more
But
to
time-
discover.
But at the same time, yeah, there is more to discover. But at the same time, time feels so much longer when you're a kid. But
that's only on the basis that there's nothing for you to do. Like that we're experiencing that too now because a lot of people don't have responsibilities. Like people who are furloughed, I have no idea how people have
Gardening.
coped being
A lot
furloughed
of people are gardening
for the last 2
and
months.
cleaning their cars. I don't know.
I'd be so bored.
Oh, me too. This is why I'm like, as much as I'm like, wow, I work a lot. It gives
Yeah,
me to do.
yeah. What else are you gonna do?
What else am I gonna do? And it's earning me money.
Yeah.
Well, not yet.
No, you'll get there. You'll get there. You'll get the payments. But I think we're gonna wrap it up there, mostly because I do have like other work to do today, other videos to make.
And there is a cheesecake in the fridge that is calling me.
Yeah,
some?
I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it.
Do you want to show them the funny tan before we go?
Oh no, because logistically it's I don't know if that's the correct word. It's just difficult to show. But right, you know what? We'll try it. We'll try it. So Tom has got the regulation. I wear a t-shirt outside in the sun tan line. Okay,
Look at that.
and whilst
White,
that
brown.
is
White, brown.
that's tragic. That is squashy looking. Mine is way worse. Okay, if you move your chair out of the way, I'm gonna back up. So. Quick backstory. The only sun I've been getting is when I go out for a run. I run with my arms like this, and it just so happens the route I run, the time of day I run, the sun is often behind me. So because my arms are tucked in, my forearms aren't getting sun, but my upper arms are. So I've got a combination of the t-shirt tan line, but a very pale forearm, and you'll see. So I'm gonna wheel back. I need some more space to get rid of this chair. Right. So we've got the regulation t-shirt line here, but my forearm is white. Look at this. That's the most ridiculous tan line I've ever seen. Look at that. Because I run like this. So now you understand? What? Oh, it just
amuses me.
and in order to balance that out, like I said, I'm gonna have to like fall asleep like this.
Out in
And
the sun.
and I've got obviously a tan line from the Fitbit. I don't even know if you can see it really, but yeah.
Whenever I roll my sleeves up at work, it's like, ooh.
See that? I mean, your tanned arm does make your upper arm look very pale, more so than normal. But this one's just weird. Look at it. But nevertheless, I have enjoyed this. It's perked me up. I was a bit of a gloomy morning.
I thought you said you were a gloomy moron. I was like, well,
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed. Tom, come in, get in. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the 10th episode. As we said in this one, I'm making moves to moving house, so making weekly podcasts might not be as easy. To be honest, it might have just been like a little quarantine thing, and then after quarantine, I can kind of take this channel into a new direction, like the Daz Black video I made. A lot of people really enjoyed that, and
a lot of people also hated you for it.
No, they not for that video. They didn't. But then maybe I could start making sort of proper videos, because this podcast has been a nice sort of time capsule of the quarantine, and then maybe it runs its course, and
I get replaced. Yeah.
I move on. But I really appreciate all of you coming back. We've been pretty good at 8 p.m. Wednesday, even though it's 11 a.m. on Wednesday right now. So I've got to edit this, all that. Anything you want to add before we head off?
No.
All right. We will catch you guys. There should still be a podcast next week.
I'll be amazed if there isn't.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully there will be. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Very soon.
Nailed it.